And this is one of my reasons why I liked being scared as a kid when I was watching a movie is not that I ran into dragons and things later on in life, but it kind of prepared me for whatever situations might be ahead. So if you see it in a movie and you know how you've already had a chance to think about it, you're going to have a
Right.
better opportunity to kind of navigate those moments better. And I think one of the big things about the film is, and this is a truth, whether we want to admit it or not, but not everyone is going to be friends.
No.
Not everyone is going to have shared interests. Not that everyone has to be enemies, but I
I was
mean,
gonna
as
say, well,
far
not
as
everyone's even going to be friendly. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast. I am Mark. That is Ryan. Hi Ryan.
hey,
So I saw this movie at the press screening. Thank you, Allied Global Marketing. You had to catch it later because you had a concert.
yeah, I went and saw Human League Soft Cell and Alison Moyet. So
Wow.
living,
Throwback.
living in the past to a certain
Yeah.
extent.
Nothing wrong with that. Not
No.
occasionally. Toy Story 5 would be that film.
Yes, yes.
Look, I think we talked about Toy Story 4 back. No, we couldn't have. That was 100 billion years ago that Toy Story 4
Well,
came out.
maybe.
But when we watched it, I was like, I don't know why I needed, or I don't know why we needed Toy Story 4. And then it made me cry at the beginning and then cry at the end.
Yeah.
And then we get Toy Story 5 and it's like, well, good Lord, man. What can we do? Toy Story 4, not as good as Toy Story 1 or 2, for that matter. Toy Story 5, up front, not as good as Toy Story 4. My opinion. Not as good a film.
We're probably splitting hairs, though.
Maybe. Look, Toy Story 5, the enemy is not a child. It's not separation. It is tech.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that straightforward. I think by the end, they walk that back a little bit in an intelligent way.
Well, I think the question, well, of course, the toys are going to figure it out because the toys in all of these films are the most intelligent things we have. I think
they're pretty paranoid in this one, though. This one, I think that in this one, it's a crisis.
Well, it is because once tech hit their homes, the traditional toys fell by the wayside. Now, and that was everyone they talked to. That was what had happened.
Yeah.
Tech shows up, bad things happen. Now I do like the fact that they explain. Sorry, they don't explain. They offer a reason as to why that is. By the end of the film, as to what tech is doing specifically to make traditional toys and, more importantly, play disappear or become less important. It's a Jessie-centric film.
Yes, which is different.
The great and powerful Joan Cusack is our driver on this one, as opposed to Tom Hanks or Tim Allen. I'm okay with that. A, I love Joan Cusack, but B, Jessie's awesome.
Yeah.
And always has been. So she is trying to save Bonnie, if you remember Bonnie from the end of Toy Story 3, who inherits all of the toys from Andy. Bonnie is a strange child. Loves to play.
I was going to say she's a throwback child.
She's a throwback, sure. We'll call her that.
But in a way that's also a way that she's been raised by her parents.
Yes. But all of the other children, because I can't say friends because she doesn't have friends, all have tech. And so they're on social media group chats, even though there are dance girls that theoretically Bonnie is a part of.
Yeah.
That's kind of glossed over in the beginning.
Well, I think you have dance class, so you might see them once a week.
Yeah. So, but the twins across the street think that Bonnie's weird because she plays with toys.
Yeah.
Doesn't have tag. So So her parents cave, and they do cave because it's a struggle for them
Yes.
to order the lily pad, the frog wrapped tablet, who proceeds to take over all aspects of Bonnie's life. And we figure out why later. And that's when we get into the whole is tech evil or not discussion. I liked it. I liked it. Like I said, I don't like it as much as I liked 4. But 4 is not 1 or 2. So you're right. There is a weird scale here.
Well, I mean, the problem is when we're talking about one of the most celebrated franchises in the history of cinema.
Yeah, it's true. Star
Wars? And not every one of them is going to be an instant classic.
No.
So, I think that this is still better than most of everything we've seen. And maybe last year it was admittedly a down year for animation.
Yeah.
And so this, there was one film I think last year that we all agreed was, really quite good. And then a lot of things that kind of fell behind. I think this would have find its way somewhere between the two groups last year. So I don't think it's maybe the best film. And it may turn out to be the best animated film of the year. I'm not sure.
Yeah, true.
But it may not be an instant classic, but it's still pretty darn good. Is kind of where I felt. I enjoyed it. I think they had to at some point. You couldn't keep making these films without addressing, the screen time basically. Yeah. Anyone who has kids who are young or nieces and nephews, which is kind of the situation I'm in, knows that screen time is a thing.
Right.
And that, some kids do better with social media and tablets than others. And social media, in this case, usually being controlled to small groups. But, I also think that this film kind of nailed the evil is not necessary. I don't know if evil's the right word, but kids are filterless and kids can be utterly brutal.
Yes.
And there is there is still that need to fit in. And so it's sometimes be careful if you're the first one to talk because the second one to talk may level you.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately kind of how the world of being a kid sometimes works. And it gets kind of, it goes mobile, with screens, whether it be a tablet or a phone or whatnot. So I think there's a lot of truth in this film, and I do think that there are still kids out there who do like to play with toys, or maybe I'm just hoping there are.
Yeah, it's funny because they use tech in this as like this blanket umbrella.
Yeah,
like once it's got a light or a chip or something, it's tech, which technically would make Buzz tech because he has a light, but
not quite. He's not. Yeah, but
yeah. But new Buzz is.
Yes. The new Buzz army is definitely
tech, but it's funny because there's even like a hierarchy among tech.
Yeah,
because we encounter early tech, primitive tech, more tech for even younger children.
Yes,
that's very specific.
Yes,
and then it kind of falls by the wayside. So I think the problem, and I love the argument that the film makes, is not that the argument that the film eventually gets around to kind of accepting is that tech isn't necessarily bad. The problem is that it is in fact limiting in what it can do.
Sure.
Whereas a child with things can do whatever it wants.
Yeah, there's
the imagination factor.
Yes, the imagination, and then it also brings up the question: are our children or this next generation or whatever going to be stifled? They don't really go into this too hard, but stifled by the fact that they're not using their imaginations.
Yeah, and but we see, even the early tech that's been lost in the drawers for like 5 years or whatever it is at some
Yeah.
point, they become things to be played with, not perform the function that they have. So tech has functions, but play has purpose.
Yeah.
And it is an interesting kind of rhetorical hair to split. And so that becomes the argument that rolls down through the end. But so then you get the smart devices and even the older, dumber devices that figure out that being played with is preferable to being used. So
Yeah.
it's a weird story. It's almost for older kids, but it's really about younger kids.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it might be a story that kids grow into. So if they see this,
Mhm.
um, and this is one of my reasons why I liked being scared as a kid when I was watching a movie, is not that I ran into dragons and things later on in life, but it kind of prepared me for whatever situations might be ahead. So if you see it in a movie and you know how you've already had a chance to think about it, you're going to have a
Right.
better opportunity to kind of navigate those, those moments better. And I think one of the big things about the film is, and this is a truth, whether we want to admit it or not, but not everyone is going to be friends.
No.
Not everyone is going to have shared interests. Not that everyone has to be enemies, but
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
as
say, well,
far
not
as,
everyone's even going to be friendly.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, but
Yeah.
there's, I mean, there are friends out there that need to be found, and how you find them, maybe that's changed a little bit, or maybe it really hasn't changed as much as we think it has.
No.
So there's a lot going on in this film that I think adults can connect with it. I think because a lot of them have gone through it or are going through
Yeah.
the situation. I think it's hard to be a parent, maybe more so now than there was in the past, because everybody's watching,
Right.
and there's no
I'll,
no real
I'll
blind
tell you what. I'll
spots.
tell you what it is. Like I said, my kid turns 32 this year, so
Yeah,
I was a
yeah,
parent in terms of this film a long time ago,
sure.
and I have to tell you now that if you're raising a child now, you are not raising that child. You are raising that child the way you think everyone around you it would or will accept you raising that child. Because if you don't, a harsh word or a uh, removal of screen time or whatever has become borderline abuse in terms of the village. It takes a village. Well, it only takes one villager to narc on you.
Sure.
Um, I'm not saying beat your children, people. That's not what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just, every parenting move you used to make was done through the lens of you and your child. And now it is in the lens of you and how you are perceived as a parent by outside forces.
Well,
So
everyone can second guess what you've done because everyone can see what you've done.
correct. And so like your kind of parental autonomy is being reduced. Unless you are an I don't give a kind of parent still. But they're the ones that get lots of calls from, child family services who come and look and go, yeah, there's nothing wrong here. But you have to deal with things like that. So it is an interesting, this film has as much for parents as it does for kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I look at my childhood, and my mother hated to ground me because she would prefer, because I was the sort of kid who could go find a book, I could go, find my action figures and be just fine. But she was, so she wouldn't ground me necessarily because she wanted me to go out and play,
Right.
But
And when I was a kid,
yeah,
it was always wait till your father gets home.
well,
Now, if someone says wait till your father gets home, it's so that he can sit down and explain to you why what you did made your mother sad and why you need to apologize to the little kid at school. I mean, we would have to apologize to the little kid at school,
Yeah.
but we normally did it through some sniffles and tears. So
little different.
it's a little different.
Wait, I mean, it's just funny because I'm also watching the Apple TV Cape Fear.
I need to get to that.
And there is some serious bad parenting going on in that film. And so it's really bizarre to kind of be thinking about the Toy Story parents and then the parents in Cape Fear and just the how one film, and this might reveal a lot about how I feel about the Cape Fear series, but it feels like Toy Story was written in the now,
right?
And it fully aware. And Cape Fear may be as it is obviously an adaptation that has been not necessarily written for the here and now, but updated to try to fit into the here and now.
Right.
And
at least,
yeah,
superficially.
Yes, and sometimes in ways that you go, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Anyway, so I think Toy Story feels Toy Story 5, despite being number 5, still feels relevant in a way that it needs to, and clearly it's reaching audiences as it's done incredibly well during its first weekend. So, which I take a lot of comfort in, because we talk about the death of cinema and the death of theater, but right now a lot of the family films are doing incredibly well, which means we're taking kids to the theater.
Yeah.
Which means that they will grow up going to the theater.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so things may be a little bleak right now, but I think as long as kids are still growing up with a theater experience, as long as the theater experience remains relevant, and I think they're finding ways to do that. Anyway, so it's great that this film, I think, is doing really well. Again, best of the Toy Story series, no, but strong, yeah. Enjoyable, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, it's winning at the box office over a film that we talked about last week. So, and I saw, I'll say it, The Death of Robin Hood.
Yeah.
I saw that the cinema score for that was a C+.
Yeah, I mean, it's not making a lot of money, and I think part of it might be the way it was marketed, which is an unusual loss for A24. Usually they're really good at marketing things, but I think they probably hid the redemption story a bit too much.
Maybe
went a little too for the edgy, which you can't ignore, but isn't really. It's the first chapter, couple chapters of it, but it's nowhere near the whole story.
Right.
But tell yeah,
review and you'll hear that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. But I think that film did have challenges, and I think maybe the way you felt about it is a variation on how some other people felt about it. And I don't know if you would have gone to see it if you didn't necessarily, quote unquote, have to.
Right. So, I probably would have waited.
I personally think it's a better film than a C+, but it doesn't surprise me because it A, isn't exactly the movie that was promoted.
Right.
And B, doesn't exactly offer the Hollywood ending that I think some people would like it to. But I think also that Hollywood ending makes it less of a film.
Yeah, it would.
Anyway, but we still have there's a wide range of things out there right now, and I think that's what's important.
And it is, and like I said, Toy Story 5. You're right. If families are going to the theater, it doesn't just say a lot about what's coming out, although that helps.
Yeah.
It speaks to the desire to go back to the theater on the part of the parents.
Yeah, and
like, maybe like they're missing it.
Yeah, and maybe there's so much to split our time these days.
Yeah,
so much more than there's ever been. And we as an adults are we're distracted by our many different screens as well. So that factors in.
It does. So yeah, so there you go. Again, all the usual people are back. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack, Conan O'Brien shows up. Greta Lee shows up as Lily Pad. Craig Robinson shows up. So it's
Keanu Reeves is back.
Yep, Keanu swings by in a couple of scenes, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Duke Kaboom.
Yep.
Who doesn't love Duke Kaboom? So yeah, no, it's good stuff. In that regard, again, not the best Toy Story of the 5, but certainly not the worst film you're going to see.
No, absolutely not.
So there you go. We don't have any screenings this week, so
No.
I plan to be watching Silo season 3 on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah,
because it comes out the 3rd, I believe.
Yes, it does.
3rd. I actually had to go back and watch the last 2 or 3 episodes of season 2 because I was like,
and I hadn't finished 2, so I'm working my way into 2 right now.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, and then we got the Minions in a couple weeks. We get to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna sneak in one though. I think we're gonna try anyway.
Yes, because you still need to get to the theater for that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. But yeah, so Toy Story 5 in theaters now, rated PG, hour and 42 minutes, good solid family film. Everyone can watch it, and take the screens away from your kids while you're in the theaters. Apparently there are people reporting that screens are coming out in theaters.
Yeah, please don't
be that person. So there you go. Don't forget to like us, follow us on social media, go to the website vsmoviepodcast.com and you'll find links to our stuff. But wherever you search, just search for the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast and you'll find us. If you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. That would be great. Give us a thumbs up. Love that too. Let us know how we're doing. Till we talk to you again, be good, stay safe, go see a good movie in theaters. There are tons.
Yes.
Pick a genre. There's a movie for you that you will enjoy, I promise. So there you go. I'm Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See you, folks.
And we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.